do is, when you're running for office or in office, is tell the truth. Kids see us as role models, and the Bible says the first person to tell their story seems right till the next person comes along. And they're looking for role models, and the reason they don't engage is because they see people that misrepresent things or make promises that they can't fulfill. I'm very comfortable with what we're doing today. It's a statute. That means it's a law, by the way. It's not optional. The statutes require we do it, and we do it in our campuses. We do it in our civics classes. We make ourselves available, but principals have to be very careful because there is a teacher's code of ethics. So what they can do is make it available, but they cannot push it. So some of the things you've heard are not available under the statute, but you do make it available to kids.
So let me follow up on that. To be clear, what you're saying is the principals are restricted from encouraging registration, voter registration?
They're not discouraged from encouraging voter registration.
So the
they
question
cannot.
So the question is then, what specific things would you support doing to encourage principals to actually encourage students to register to vote?
There's a presumption there that we're not doing everything we can in the campus. I think it's wrong. I think it's not. I would just say, I think our principals are doing everything that they have been asked to do. We are getting more voter turnout of teenagers in LISD and registrations than ever before. And the political environment is helping with that. The principals have a very big task in our high schools, people. If you have kids in high school, you know that. But so I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm just saying that this is a big task, and I think all of us, parents and principals, are responsible. That's a venue. It's like when my son goes to vote, he can go to UNT. They make it available at UNT, but they don't. They're encouraging him to vote, but not just persuading him. It's the same type of thing in the campuses. So I'm comfortable that our civics classes, our STUCOs, all of those venues are doing what they're asked to under the statute.
I want to be clear that I think the schools and the school district are only one of the ways to advertise and encourage our young people to register to vote. We lay a lot of things on the school, and I don't want this to be the only thing that, or I don't want it to sound like it's the only thing that counts. But as has been mentioned here, there's lots of activities in the school government, and that can be used to communicate, as I mentioned before, what's important about registering to vote and why they should do it. So that's how I would go about it.
I would support more partnership between the registrar's office and our campuses. We have lots of campuses, so it would take some time and effort to coordinate that, but I would support that. And once again, we have digital kids. I think if we had a better digital system that they could register online and it'd be online, submitted online. So I think if Texas could join the other states that are already doing this, it would really drastically help. That's what I think.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your answers. Our next topic. On March 6th, LISD voted to approve a notification to the Texas Commissioner that essentially forestalled any plans to become a district of innovation. Would you support or oppose a plan to become a district of innovation, and why? And I guess if you're an incumbent, the question is, did you support or did you oppose it, and why? Let's start. We'll start right here in the middle. Tracy, we'll go this way and then come back.
Well, we haven't voted on this, and you're going to be led to believe that we've done some things that are mysterious, and the fact is, again, we follow the statute, and this is a statute. We have pursued District of Innovation to see if it was something that would benefit our staff and our students and our community. I have been very clear, as I am always, that my vote. I explain my vote in detail. I made the motion to notify the governor, or the commissioner. And so, no, I don't support it. Now, I don't support it for different reasons than others. I don't support it because I don't think it promotes student achievement. I don't think that it benefits our teachers. You can get your class sizes could go up. Now, there's a whole process to add these things that's transparent to the public, but your class sizes could go up, teacher certifications could go away. Yes, you can start school early. It's very popular. People voted for that calendar. But at the end of the day, I believe that what is great about public schools is some of the things that we do for teachers, and some of these things could go away. Charter schools, which this is an attempt to make us like, are about these provisions. I don't think they're beneficial for LISD, and I've been on record with that.
So District of Innovation, as my opponent would say, he's against, although they did vote, they had a meeting, and they did do the first portion of it, and that was done last year. And while he will let you believe that I was not in the area, the sad part about it is that I was here, and it wasn't myself that didn't know about it. It is the teachers in the community that have lived here for a long time that did not know that they had already done the meeting and the vote and started a committee to get the District of Innovation agenda started. Secondly, he was the one who made the motion to move on with the District of Innovation, yet he's against it. And I think the community is confused. If you are against it, then you're against it. I personally am against it because it does have the ability to have less value for our teachers and our students.
I'm against the District of Innovation too. It sounds like it's just so incredibly cool, but it really isn't. It's a series of trade-offs. Get a calendar so that you can go to school earlier or later, and then in return, the teachers might have to give up certain benefits that they've acquired, or as Tracy and Sherry mentioned, lose certification. And we don't want our teachers uncertified. So I'm against it.
I believe a few things within the District of Innovation could be beneficial to the district and to our students. The calendar that everybody's talked about. Everybody loves the way that the dates fall right now, and it's going to continue to happen the next 2 years right now, and repeat every 5 years. That the fourth Monday falls in the very, very last week. So parents don't like when it's pushed and then they get farther and farther. Soon we'll be going all year round the way that the calendar works these days. So I do think that the lobbyists from the vacation industries around Texas created the fourth Sunday. And so I think it's wrong that the lobbyists of Texas worked against public schools because they wanted more generic time within the state that people could go on vacations. And so that's the reason why we have the fourth Sunday. I think that the school districts were allowed a little bit more leniency in setting those things, as well as the 90% attendance rule that we didn't implement, which I think could be very, very valuable for some of our students who are more medically handicapped. It would be helpful.
Thank you. I have a lot to learn, and I don't have enough information on this particular subject to talk to you about it now. I apologize for that. I will be more informed by the time the election arrives, so I'll have to pass that.
Thank you, and thank everyone for your responses. For our last topic that we're going to cover tonight, this is about the use and the availability of Title I funds. Specifically, Hedrick Elementary is a recipient of much-needed Title I funds from the federal government. Presuming the LISD bond package is approved by the voters in May, Hedrick Elementary would be closed, and Hedrick Elementary students would be dispersed to schools with potentially fewer socioeconomic challenges, and therefore potentially fewer Title I funds available to the district. What can or should not be done to ensure that those funds are not lost to the district? And we'll start here with Christine. We'll go down.
The way that the federal title works, Title 1 through 4 works, is that the federal government will provide the district with a set of funds. Title 1 is the most funds. Title 2, 3, and 4 are very small in comparison to the Title 1 funds. Title 1 is for the low socioeconomic students. The school district then decides how the campuses are allotted those funds. So Hedrick gets their funds based on school district policies, not based on the Hedrick itself. Hedrick is a very, very unique situation. The decision will be very heavy on my heart. If we are able to separate those students, within Hedrick, we can separate them into a better dual language model where they'll have better peer-to-peer relationships so they can learn English at a very early age so that they can learn in English later, which is very, very vital. So those title funds are based on the federal government's 40% rule of low socioeconomic. The schools around there already meet that low socioeconomic, so they won't be losing any title funds when and if they are moved to surrounding schools.
Okay, once again, I'm going to have to pass. I don't know enough about Title I funds and how that system works. My apologies again.
Let me start by responding to Ms. Chambers. I follow the statute. The statute is in place for District of Innovation so that you make it available to the public to participate. We have made it a public. Ms. Chambers hasn't even been to a workshop on District Innovation. She wasn't even at the meeting that we referred to. So in all due respect, I made the motion to notify the governor as a move under the statutes to kill DOI. To be clear, I followed the statute, made a move to kill DOI, and that's why I made that motion, and I stand behind it, and I'm on record. The second thing is, first of all, understand this. Hedrick Elementary, whether the bond passes or regardless of who you elect, will be retired. The bond being passed or not, or who you appoint to the board, won't change anything. In fact, not approving the bond won't move us closer to have to close the school because we save $3.5 million for every school that we don't run. Title I dollars go to the school. What you may not know is that all the schools, except for the school that her daughter goes to, are Title I and LHS. All the schools in Louisville, except for Valley Ridge, and the marker is around free and subsidized lunches. So it's a kind of a good faith with the community and partnering on telling us if they need free or subsidized lunches, and the government then determines funding.
Well, Title I, when it comes to Hedrick, they are correct. Title I goes to basically any school that has a 40%, reaches a 40%, thank you, subsidized lunches. So basically, they will end up getting the free breakfast and lunches that's required. Hedrick is just a different. When you throw Hedrick into the mix, it's just a different situation. Hedrick offers more than just a free breakfast and a free lunch. They are a community school that offers more than just that. They are a community school. Most of those children go there because of the community that they serve. When you take them out of that community and you start busing them here and there, the problem arises that when there's after-school things, when they have any kind of after-school community things, they can't go to it. They're done. Hedrick is more than just a Title I school. They're a community school.
I don't think I have anything to add to the Title I discussion, but the one thing that I would say I'm disappointed about the Hedrick situation, and I have been through a school closing, but we all knew what was going to happen way before it actually happened. Now, I understand Hedrick's not closing for, 5 years? But still, before, pardon? That's what I heard. So, but even so, to announce, oh, we're going to close your school in 5 years, and we can't tell you where your children are going to go, we can't tell you how they're caring for them afterwards, we can't tell you how we're going to get them there. That's, to me, that's the part that I struggle with. That we should have those answers in place for the community before we tell them we're taking away their school.
Great, thank you. Thank you for those answers. That was very helpful. We're now going to open up the questions for the school board candidates for we only have another 10 minutes. So we want to get questions from the audience if you have any. We also have the availability if you're watching online to submit questions, and we can take those questions as well. So we'll start.
I
Yes.
have what's probably like an ignorant question. And
Would you like?
What? No, I can project. I'll just.
Okay, go ahead.
I have what might seem like an ignorant question, and you may have stated it before you asked about Title I funding and Hedrick. But why is Hedrick being closed?
Good. So the question for those who didn't hear is why is Hedrick